more of a provocative one because I was just in the fucking mood for it, and I feel like this topic needs to be addressed, and this shit needs to be said. So why you should stop approaching girls on the street? In other words, why you should not day game. All right. The reason for this video is I see far too many guys, either when I'm out and about doing my thing or videos online of other guys who are coaching guys, and I'm looking at these guys and I'm like, bro, you should not be doing this, right? You should not be out here on the streets approaching girls. Like, you've got so much work to do first. So I've made the point before that day game, I'm just gonna call it that so we all know what I'm actually talking about. Day game is a hyperbolizer, all right? Day game is a hyperbolizer. If you're a strange, creepy, socially incompetent guy, day game puts a spotlight onto you and it makes you more weird. And this is how you can land yourself into trouble. This is how you can quickly get a reputation in your town or city as that creepy guy who approaches girls. It's because you don't have any value to give. It's because you are at the moment, you're not a fuckable man, right? And that's the problem. And there's far too many coaches, there's far too many YouTube channels which are essentially preaching the mantra, game trumps all. All you need to learn is the system, the lines, the technique, and you'll be okay. And it's not that, all right? So the purpose of this video is not to crush your optimism. It's to give you a practical strategy so you can eventually go out there, start meeting girls, however you want to meet them. But you have to understand that day game is simply a means of delivering your value to the world. If you've got no value to give, you need to build value first. Even if that means delaying your gratification, it will benefit you more in the long run, right? This is why I don't work with every guy who gets in contact with me. This is why I will refuse guys. I've refunded guys in the past where we've met up on the day of the coaching and I've quickly realized that he doesn't have the social skills necessary to actually be going out approaching girls on the street. So I just say to him on the spot, listen, bro, you shouldn't be doing this. Here's a blueprint. Here's a plan of action that I want you to implement for the next 6 months. Come back to me once you've done this and I'll let you know if you're ready. Because some guys are just not ready. Like, the day game, it's not for everybody, right? And there's not enough not enough coaches will actually say this to you because they just want your money, right? They just want to market to everybody. And that's not how you build a business, especially in an industry like this. Day game is a hyperbolizer. What I mean by this is, if you're a cool guy who's got his shit sorted, who's built value, who does have social skills, this is a fantastic thing to do. It's, in my opinion, one of the best things a man can do. As long as you've got that value built, you are a cool guy, you've got a interesting, hyper seductive life, you find fulfillment in many things, you pursue different passions and hobbies, you travel, you get around, you've got healthy relationships with women, right? So you actually like women. You're not one of those fucking pickup artist lose. Like, bro, if you consider yourself a PUA, if you consider yourself a pickup artist, get the fuck off my channel. Like, please unsubscribe from me right now and get the fuck away from me. Because if you consider yourself a pickup artist, bro, you're a fucking loser. There you go. So yeah, if you consider yourself a PUA, get the fuck off my channel. This channel is not for you. This channel is for radically ambitious men who want to level up their life across the board, maximize their value in all the key areas, understand that women should be a complement to an already abundant life. Beautiful women are a beautiful byproduct of a beautiful life. If you're just going out there parading around the pavement all day, every day, you've been doing the same shit for 10 years, you're not the sort of guy that A, I want to work with, and B, I want anything to do with. So yeah, if you consider yourself a PUA, get the fuck off this channel. It's not for you. This is not a pickup channel. This is teaching men how to become the most fuckable version of themselves and then use games simply as a means of delivering that value to the world. Like I say, there's just way too many guys who get sucked into this this game space and they get brainwashed by the brain dead, right? That's the best way I can describe it. They see day game as a cheat code into the sexual marketplace, which for certain guys, it certainly is. But day game is not for average men, all right? That's another thing that most fucking, I don't even know what you call these people, gurus. I think charlatans is the right word. This is the thing that these charlatans will not tell you, okay? They simply will brainwash you into believing that it doesn't matter if you're a loser in your everyday life. You can essentially masquerade as a high value man using these tricks, lines, and techniques, and you'll get all the girls you could ever want. It's like, bro, I don't understand how people, I know how people are actually buying into it. It's because they're desperate, right? They're desperate men who just want desperate solutions. The things that I'm providing you on this channel are not desperate solutions, and they're not remedies for average men, right? The things that I preach, the main bedrock of this channel is telling you to build your value first and then use day game or whatever game you want to use to deliver the value that you've built to the world. Okay, so I would much rather a guy take a year, right? Take a year to yourself to actually build your value as a man. So get your body on point, get your finances on point, get your social skills more improved. Transform your life holistically first, and then once you've built all of that value, that you actually like yourself and you're like, you know what, I have been putting the reps in, I have been making the most of my time, I have built myself into a man that I believe women want to be with, and great, I've got time for you, please come and join me because you're the exact man I want to work with. The majority of the men who I work with, just so I can give you a clear avatar of you to strive for, if working with me is something you would like to do in the future, the majority of the guys that I work with, they're high achieving, busy city workers. They lead busy lives. They've got busy schedules. They've got glittering careers. They've done well. They've done well for themselves. They look good. They dress well, and I've made the point before. There's a difference between looking good and being good looking. I'm not saying you have to be good looking to work with me, but I do need you as a baseline to actually look like a man who women want to fuck. And if you don't feel like you're in that position anymore, then just be honest with yourself. Just be like, you know what? I do have a little bit more work to do, even if that takes you 3 more years to do it till you get to that level where you're like, do you know what? Now I'm happy with myself. Take 3 years. I do not want your time or money if you don't think that this is right for you right now. And again, not enough coaches will say this to you because they're just in it for the quick buck. They're not in it to actually help men. They're in it to help themselves. And you can smell that shit from a mile away, right? It's like, oh, you know, buy this, I don't even know what the fuck they call these products anymore, but buy this like 3 steps to get any woman into bed. It's like they're marketing it to these very desperate men that I feel sorry for, who will just try and buy these solutions. I'm not trying to sell you quick fix solutions. The whole point of this is realism, okay? It's realism. It's trying to get across to you that the majority of these game channels that you consume are simply trying to scam you of your money because they know you're desperate. And very few of these channels, I don't actually know any channel which will actually say this to you bluntly, right? Because I am running a business in this industry. I need to make money in order to sustain the lifestyle that I want to live, to make sure that my family are well, everyone needs to make money. But my entire philosophy is the point of a business should be to make people feel good, right? And you should make money ethically. And the whole point of capitalism is where you make an exchange with somebody and you both benefit from that deal. I'm seeing like coaching videos online of coaches who are taking guys out on the streets, which is like the one of the most difficult social arenas to actually meet women. Like approaching women on the street for a below average man is fucking torture. And I'm watching these videos and I'm thinking to myself, this is the last place that this man needs to be. This man, first of all, needs to get himself into the gym. He probably needs a therapist. He probably needs to get his mental health on point. The way that he's dressing, the way that he's carrying himself, the way that he obviously feels about himself internally. He should not be putting himself in front of women during the day, because when I say that day game, like approaching girls on the street, is a hyperbolizer, because of the socially unorthodox nature, and because a lot of guys who get attracted to this lack social competence, it puts a spotlight up to your social incompetence, and that's why it's so easy to get a bad reputation for yourself, because you've not invested in yourself as a man first. In really simple terms, first of all, you need to learn social skills. You can't become seductive until you become social, and that's what no one will teach you. No one will explain this to you. Coaches these days, the charlatans that exist in the world, will simply brainwash a man into thinking he can become an absolute stud overnight. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's been a loser in the past. It doesn't matter if he's a loser right now. It doesn't matter if he's sleeping on a gravy-stained mattress in his mum's basement. He's overweight. He's got disgusting spots on his face. He can hardly walk without getting out of breath. Do you know what, Sid? You can do it. Yeah, you can do it, because we're all about optimism, aren't we? And it's like, no, fucking no. We're about realism. The best thing that Sid could do for himself is, first of all, get out of his mum's house, lose weight, get to a place in his life where he actually likes himself, get a good group of friends around him, and not even friends who are involved in the game space, right? Because I think for any man to be hyper successful, let's just call it game so we all know what we're talking about, you need two groups of friends. You need a group of friends who are involved in this space. So you need that masculine support network of like-minded men that you can bounce off. So like the guys who are accepted to work with me as part of my 30-day online mentoring program, one of the main benefits that they've told me that they get out of it is it's just nice to have another guy, another regular guy who they can actually talk to about these things. We have 2 calls a week, and they almost feel like a therapy session in a way. So say one of my guys goes out and he gets loads of blowouts one day and he gets some rip-roaring success the next day. We ride that roller coaster together, and it's nice to have people who get it, right? Who understand the trials and the tribulations, because you can still build your value up to an amazing level. Like you can look the part, you can look the part, you can be the part, and you can still get blowouts. However, the blowouts are so much easier to stomach when you already know you've got value to give. And like this is a crucial element of the process. People will always say to me, Kristian, how do you deal so effectively with blowouts? I'm going out there, I'm getting blown out, and it's making me depressed. And the reason is because I've got myself to a position now where I actually like myself. I'm operating from a place of wholeness rather than from a place of lack. So if I go out and get blown out by 10 beautiful girls, which happens, right? Which fucking happens. I'm not saying it doesn't affect me, of course it does, but because to use Tomasi's phrase, because I'm my own mental point of origin, right? Because I've got so many things in my life to look forward to. This is what abundance mentality is. It's not just having an abundance of women, it's having an abundance of things. The happiest men on this earth, the happiest men that I've ever met, myself included, the happiest men always have things to look forward to, right? Even if it's just something so basic, like I'm gonna go out tomorrow with my mum. We're gonna have a post Mother's day out together. That's something that I've got to look forward to, right? I'm going to Bucharest. I'm gonna be going to fucking knows where else am I going? I've got to Warsaw, I think. Like I've got these long-term and short-term things to look forward to. I'm doing some other like social activities with my friends. I've got this YouTube channel. I create content. I put value out there into the world. So the whole point, if you live an abundantly holistic life where you've always got things to look forward to, you're making active strides every day to become the most fuckable version of yourself. You're able to enjoy the becoming as much as the being, and you're happy to wait 5 years until you become, in your opinion, the finished product, right? If you look back at me 2 years ago, I looked like an absolute fucking troglodyte. I looked disgusting. Like 5 years ago, I was even worse. I looked like a fucking turnip. So the point being, the person that I was at 18 years old, if I applied to work with me at 18 years old, first of all, I wouldn't have worked with me because I was only 18. I've got far too much growing still to do. But I would have just looked at myself and be like, bro, you've got so much more work to do. Take 6 years, build your character, accumulate life experience, and then maybe we can talk. But right now, you're too young to start with. Like, I sometimes have guys who are like 16, 17 getting in contact with me talking about learning cold approach. And listen, do it for the life experience, 100%. But bro, if you're 16, 17, 18, and you're watching my content, this is why I've wanted to put more of a holistic self-improvement spin on it, because I don't want to be the guy that brainwashes young men into thinking they need to be the finished product at 18 years old, and oh, if I'm getting blown out now, I'm fucked for the rest of my life. It's like, no, you can do this. Like, you can go out and you can use day game street approaching as a rite of passage, but don't get too attached to the present moment. Like, I made a video when I was living in Bucharest last November, and I got absolutely slated for this video, where essentially I made the point where being present is a toxic mindset. And I had emails, I had guys messaging me being like, oh, what are you talking about? This is awful. You shouldn't be saying this. But the point of that video was to inspire the importance of future projection. If you're watching this video right now and you're 21 years old, you're working the night shift in some factory, in a fucking beetroot factory, where you're putting fucking beetroot into a little fucking jar or whatever, and you're making minimum wage, you don't look the way you want to look, you're sleep deprived, like, why would you want to live in the present moment? For me, it's far more conducive to future project, right? And say to yourself, listen, my life is not how I want it to be right now. I don't look like the man that I want to look like. However, I am more than happy to suck, to eat shit, to put the reps in for the next 5 years of my life. So by the time I get to 26, 27, I am going to be in a position where I actually like myself. I think it's very difficult to say to a guy who hates his life at the moment to be grateful, to be present, to enjoy where you're at. It's like, well, it's like saying to a man who's starving to forget about food. I think it's an unrealistic thing. I think we always need a focus. So even if your focus is 5 years from now, I think that is enough optimism and hope to inspire you to actually be able to suck up the present moment. If you've got nothing to look forward to, you're just following this woo-woo mentality, like, oh, meditate, be present, be one, be grateful for what I have. I don't really think that cuts it, personally. But whatever, people didn't like me for saying that. I don't really care. People are not going to like me for saying this shit either, so who cares? But yeah, the purpose, you'll have seen the title, you'll be like, oh, has Kristian gone crazy? He's telling us not to approach girls on the street. I thought this channel was just about day game. Well, first of all, this channel is more than just fucking day game. But I'm saying this to educate you, to stop you from getting yourself into trouble. I have actually made a list of things, practical solutions that you can start implementing today, because I like practical things on this channel, that you can actually actively start doing to become the most fuckable version of yourself and make day game, street approaching, whatever you want to call it, something that is conducive to your life. So the first reason that I've wrote down here, I'm probably going to repeat myself a lot in this live stream, but suck it up, it's my fucking stream. The first one, why you should not be approaching girls on the street, is that you look like shit, okay? I can say this because I used to like a turnip 2 years ago, looks like a little fucking troglodyte. So there are far too many guys who are going out there trying to approach girls on the street, start conversation. Listen, I respect the hustle, I respect the tenacity, I respect the fact that you've got the balls to do it, but you're still going to be sleeping alone for the sheer fact you look terrible, right? If you're going out there, you're dressed in a fucking gravy-stained Slazenger polo, you've got a pair of slides on, you're not taking care of your face, your hair looks like it's been dragged through a hedge backwards, maybe you're carrying a few extra pounds, so it demonstrates to the world, because people will judge you instantly. Like I've said that before, the first 3 seconds of your daytime approach are the most important. I don't care what anyone says, looks matter. And that's the first thing that people will judge you on, is your appearance. I've made looks maxing videos. I will make more videos which is centered around how you can actually become a more aesthetically pleasing man. And people might say, oh, that's vain. Yeah, that's just the fucking world, I'm afraid. That's just how it is, right? We do simply judge people based on the way that they look. And also, it's a self-respect thing as well. I think this is the the core element of it. If you look like shit, it basically projects to the world, I don't care about myself. And what sort of father are you going to be if you can't even look after yourself? How the fuck are you going to look after your offspring? So you owe it to yourself as a man, in my opinion, before anything else, you actually get yourself to a level where you do look at least presentable. All right, I'm not saying that you need to look like a fucking supermodel, far from it, but you do need to make sure that the way you look is the way you intended. And you can look at yourself in the mirror and be like, do you know what? You're looking good today, bro. Like, that's the level that you want to get to. That might, for you, it might be a 6 out of 10 in terms of looks. It might be a 7 out of 10, but a 7 out of 10 is far better than a fucking 2 out of 10. And there's far too many guys who are complaining that they don't get results with women in general. And you're looking at them and you're like, well, yeah, too fucking right, you're not getting results with women. Look at you, for fuck's sake. And the beautiful thing about being a man is your value is not static, right? Like, men are built, okay? So, like, I'm using myself as a case study because it's the easiest thing to use and it'll stop people from being like, oh, you're so horrible. I'm not horrible, I'm realistic. And this is the shit that's actually going to set you free. When I was 18 years old, I looked like a turnip. Yes, I was still pulling girls consistently who on paper I should never have got, right? But that's more of an outlier, okay? I don't like to use the exception to the rule as the rule. The thing that really propelled me forward was my social skills. They're the two main things I would say to any guy who's watching this, who really wants to get out there and really wants to start meeting girls. The first two things, the main two things you should focus on is your appearance and your social skills. Even if you're, let's say, a 4 out of 10 right now, if you can elevate yourself to a 6 out of 10, I'm just using that scale so we know that I'm talking about. If you can elevate yourself 2 points and skyrocket your social skills, so you get like 10 out of 10 social skills, 6 out of 10 looks, bro, I promise you, you will clean up, okay? But you need to pass the threshold. Like, being good looking isn't open, okay? You can still fuck it up after the open. Like, even if you were like, if you were a 10 out of 10 in terms of looks, yeah, you probably still would get results. But if you can't back up the way that you look with the charm, the charisma, the ability to lead, to be funny, to be provocative, to say the things that most people are too scared to say, have a ruthless streak to you, you know, have that winner's mentality where you can just go after the things you want unapologetically. You've got that polarizing masculine frame. You've got dominance, you've got authority, you've got assertiveness. Like, all of this is bundled for me into your social skills. You can do a lot of damage with that. All right. So if you can, okay, how do you skyrocket your social skills? I've made videos on this in the past, but like a really quick blueprint: spend more time around more people who you don't know. That's it. Spend more time around more people who you don't know. How do you get better with people? You spend more time around people. I was performing magic around the country from 13 years old. That really put me through the social fire. You don't need to be a magician for 10 years. Spend time around people whose approach to life that you want to emulate, right? When guys spend time with me, even if it's only for a weekend, they learn through osmosis. My approach to life rubs off on them, and they can then use. Don't allow admiration to become imitation. This is not me trying to get you to mimic me completely. Say what I say word for word. Dress like me, talk like me, get a little fucking quiff going like me. It's not that. It's understanding why what I do works and then applying it to your own life. So if you can find people in your city, in your town, even people online, this is why I say curate your Instagram, curate your social media. So okay, so you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? But the brain can't really distinguish between people that it sees online and people that they see in person. So this is beautiful for us in the hyper digitalized age that we live in. Find 5 people online who you think, do you know what? I would really like to be like that person. Find 5 people. You can do this on Instagram. This is a really good hack. Unfollow everybody on Instagram apart from the 5 people. So therefore, because we're all basically addicted to social media anyway, right? And I think it's unrealistic to be one of those guys. I hate it when people are like, delete all the apps, bro. It doesn't fucking work. You're just going to end up re-downloading them again, and it just takes more time re-downloading it. So for me, you might as well accept the fact that we're all basically crack addicts when it comes to the screen. So let's use that to our advantage. If you go on Instagram right now, or even create a separate profile for this masculine online support network that you're building, and this is fucking free as well, so please do it. Create a separate Instagram profile, find five people who inspire you, and then every time you get that impulse to check social media, you're going to be hit with inspiration straight away. So you've created this online portfolio for yourself where as soon as you do succumb to the temptation of caving into dopamine, whatever it is, you're getting hit with inspiration, okay? And obviously you don't want to get stuck there and just fucking like jizzing over these other people's lives. But for me, oftentimes, if I'm feeling a little bit lazy, I'm like, fuck, like I'm not in the mood to do anything. Sometimes it just takes one image of someone in a beautiful swimming pool in maybe Dubai or somewhere in the UAE or maybe in Ibiza, whatever it is. It might be like some guy, he's got a topless photo with a beautiful girl next to him. It might just take that one photo to get me inspired and have the best Renaissance day of my life. So if you can curate your online profile to constantly get hits of inspiration, then that will set you up for success. And you've got a sense of accountability as well, especially if you're like following people's stories and highlights. You're in this beautiful microcosm where nothing else matters apart from you and the five people who you've decided to spend time with. If you can spend time with people IRL, obviously that's going to be more conducive. Like when I was in Brazil, I was spending a good amount of time with Sam from Fluid Social. Really great guy. Would recommend you go and show Sam love. He did a lot for me. But just spending time around Sam, he introduced me to other guys in Brazil in the network over there, like really like high flying, successful guys. And we were having like lots of conversations about life, you know, like skyrocketing our businesses, helping more guys, creating more value. We were just meeting different guys from all different businesses, like being around that sort of energy. Because I think for a lot of guys, especially if you work like a 9 to 5, because I've done this myself, like working a 9 to 5, it's easy to get sucked into that microcosm, right? I don't know if you've been in the 9 to 5 grind. You probably have. Everyone fucking has. But if you work dead-end jobs like I worked at a zoo, I worked at a caravan park, I worked at Iceland supermarket stacking shelves, it's so easy to get sucked into that environment where everyone's just bitching about the job, everyone's just bitching about each other. As soon as they clock out, like they're still talking about the job, they're still talking about the turkey dinosaurs on aisle 6, and it's like that becomes them, that consumes them, and before they know it, they've sleptwalked through life, and 20 years later, they're still talking about the turkey dinosaur. Sorry, guys, the connection kind of went off. If you consider yourself more of an introverted guy, it can be difficult for you to actually put yourself out there and meet people straight away in real life. So just do the Instagram social media hack, curate your profile so you're constantly getting hits of people whose approach to life you want to emulate. That was a tangent, but it's value because it's important, because you really are the product of the people you're spending the most time with. So that was your social skills. That's essentially social skills 1-on-1. I'm sure people would charge you about $1,000 for that crash course. The way you develop your social skills, you don't need a fucking course, you don't need some fucking year-long immersion. You just need to spend more time around more people who you don't know more often. And if you can, have some form of accountability there as well. So if you've got another friend in your town or city and the both of you want to work on becoming the most fuckable version of yourself, then, you know, create challenges with each other. Like if maybe you both go to an improv class and you're like, right, I'm going to do more of the skits than you are this week. Or maybe your friend is going to a stand-up comedy gig or course or whatever on a Saturday, and it motivates you to want to go there because of that male competition element inside of you. It's like, I can't be outdone here. Or if your friend's going to the gym and you're feeling lazy, it's like, oh fuck, he's going to get the 6-pack before I do, and I don't want that to happen. So yeah, if you can find healthy male competition as well, where you're creating challenges against each other, that's beautiful as well. This works good for the looking as good as you can look, okay? If you've got someone who you're competing against, again, you could do this online as well. You could find people who look better than you, who are in better shape than you. It's not a case of getting demotivated by it. I think self-comparison is a beautiful thing, okay? You have to use it constructively, of course, otherwise it can destroy you. And also be careful about the things that you see online as well, especially with the fitness community. Most of those guys are on fucking roids, all right? And you're never going to look like them unless you've either got abnormally obnoxious genetics and you are juicing, all right? So just be savvy with that. I think that's a very easy rabbit hole young men can fall into, thinking, oh, but I don't look like this guy from Miami. So yeah, too fucking right. He doesn't even look like him. Like he's so like mutated off the steroids that there's not even any point in you. You can still get motivated by it, but I would find like natural people, people who you can tell like, okay, they have just put a lot of good work in. Like, yeah, they might have good genetics, but Joe Delaney comes to mind. I don't know if you follow Joe Delaney on YouTube. I do believe he's natural, and I think having that source of motivation in your life is good. I've got a lot of time for Mr. Delaney, but yeah, like finding like natural people to motivate you on the body front. But yeah, you should not, in my opinion, you should not be approaching girls on the street if you look like shit and you have zero social skills. I think we can all agree with that. I'm sure there will be guys out there who disagree with me on this and be like, nah, bro, like you're killing hope for men out there. I'm not killing hope for men. I'm demonstrating realism. Like you could be parading around the pavements for the next 10 years of your life, and if you still look like shit and you're not understanding that game for a large part is conversation skills. If you suck balls having conversations and you look like shit, there's no way on this earth you're gonna get results with beautiful women. Like you're just not. Like what? I don't know. Like in what kookified world some people live in. But hey, I guess whatever makes money for people, like fucking bullshit sells these days. Right. What else have we got? Yeah, the way you look. Right. First of all, yeah, you need to look good. Looking good and being good looking are very different things, like I've already said, okay? Like, you can do a lot in a relatively short space of time as well. Like, if you just genuinely just looked at yourself in the mirror today, right, and just were like, right, what's good about me? What could I work on? We've all got good things and we've all got, like, bad things. If you can maximize the good things and minimize the bad things and just have a clear action plan. Even if you said to yourself, right, I'm going to use this month, okay? Let's say we're going into April soon, but fuck it, let's just say March. I'm going to use, this is actually better because it's a more condensed time frame. Say to yourself today, I'm going to use the rest of March, so that's like what, just under 2 weeks. I'm going to use the rest of March to look the best I've ever looked. I think that's an amazing goal that anyone can create for themselves right now, because if you've got more of a condensed time frame, I guarantee you'll make faster progress. If someone said to me, Kristian, you need to become fluent in French in 1 year, I'd be like, yeah, fuck you. However, if they said to me, Kristian, you need to become fluent in French in 1 week, because in 1 week you're going to have to do a live stream to the people of France about DAYGAME, I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm going to have to become fluent in French. I guarantee I would become better. I probably wouldn't become fluent because I'm shit at languages. However, I would make more progress because of the more condensed time frame. So point being, if you say to yourself, right, I'm going to use the rest of this month to look the best I've ever looked, you probably won't look the best you're ever going to look, but I guarantee you'll make more progress in your looks maxing journey than if you said to yourself, yeah, I'm going to take 10 years, because that's a long time. Like 100% mix. It's speed and patience, right? It's executing every day and accepting that it might take you 5 years. But I think you can hack your brain into thinking it will take a shorter amount of time by simply creating a more immediate deadline. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm just talking out my arse here. I hope that, because it makes sense in my mind. I hope it makes sense in your mind as well. If you say to yourself, right, I'm going to use the rest of this month to look the best that I've ever looked, I guarantee it'll light a fire up your ass today, tomorrow, the next day, all of the rest of the days in this month to actually implement, to execute, to create. Maybe that'll mean you going out to the shops and upgrading your wardrobe. Like a lot of things go into the way that you look. It's not just your face. Like get a haircut that suits your face, 100%. But like just the way that you dress, the way that you carry yourself, like when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do better in life. Just understanding color, like what color looks good on your skin, like understanding fit. Like don't just be wearing like oversized baggy clothes all the time that make you look like an absolute bum. Like actually educate yourself. I'm not a fashion expert. I just know what looks good on my body because I've experimented over time. Actually, very easy. Here you go, boys. This is practical as fuck. If you want to learn what looks good on your body, just take like 3 hours, go to a few shops on the high street and use that beautiful device they create called the fitting room, right? This is what I used to do back in the day when I had no ideas. When I first went to university, actually, it's interesting because the first girlfriend I ever had, she was absolutely beautiful girl. To this day, I still don't know why she did. Anyway, doesn't matter. She educated me on clothing, right? Because I remember the first time that I met her, she was like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" This is what I mean. Like, just my social skills were good back then. I didn't have anything else going for me. So she took me shopping, right? I remember she took me shopping, and she just said, just go into the fitting room and just stay in there until you understand what I'm trying to say to you. Because she was trying to explain to me, you need to be wearing this, this, and this because it's going to make you look good. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, well, how's this going to make any difference to me? So I just took a shitload of clothes into the fitting room and I stayed in there until I looked at myself in the mirror, because you've got different angles as well, so you can see how it shapes your body. Being in a fitting room as well actually motivates you to get a better body, because you're looking at yourself from all angles in the mirror. You can see all your blemishes, and every time I go to a fitting room, I usually use fitting rooms actually as a pre-workout. I'm like, oh fuck, we need to do a little bit more work here, or it just gets you, I don't know what it is, it just gets you motivated to look better in the clothing that you're trying to put on. But yeah, if you can put yourself, take like 3 hours, go to a fitting room, try on all sorts of clothes, all sorts of outfits. Yes, it's narcissistic, but hey, that's a beautiful thing. Why would you not want to be operating from a place of self-adoration, right? So fuck it. So yeah, go to a fitting room, try on new clothes, see what looks good. It'll make you feel good as well. You might want to, put on the fucking sunglasses, get jeans that you wouldn't usually wear. No one can see you. You're in the fucking fitting room, so like Bob's your fucking uncle. But like already through this live stream, I feel as though I've illuminated and give you practical solutions to actually skyrocket your success in this arena. Okay, look good, look as good as you can look. Be committed to your masculine self-optimization journey, and put yourself into more social environments where you're constantly putting yourself in front of new people, new activities, even if it's pursuing hobbies or interests, things that you wouldn't usually do, putting yourself in front of an audience, going to salsa classes, bachata classes, like dance classes, which force you to, there's basically like speed dating. You're meeting so many different people. You're working on your social skills. You also get to work on your seduction skills as well. But remember, build your social skills first. Like, social skills are the bedrock of game. If you don't have social skills, if you can't even carry a conversation with a family member, you should not be going out there to approach girls on the streets. And that this is the problem. There's just too much incompetence being delivered on the streets, and it's why guys are getting themselves into trouble. It's because they've not built any value. And that's the third thing that I will say is you need to have a mission. You need to have a clear purpose. Women cannot be your sole focus. If you want a really practical day game blueprint for if you're a guy watching this and you're like, do you know what, Kristian, I do feel as though I've got to a point in my life where I do have value to give, I do look good, and I have worked on my social skills. I just don't know how to actually factor day game into my life. I'll just give you the advice that I give to my clients one-on-one: 3 hours per week. Okay, a 3-hour time investment per week is all you need to integrate day game into your life. 3 hours a week. So 1 hour Friday, 1 hour Saturday, 1 hour Sunday. Boom, that's it. Do that every week. 3 hours a week. That's all you need, because it goes back to the condensed time period again. If you're giving yourself 5 hours a day, you're not gonna do as well. You're just gonna piss your time away. You're gonna be walking around aimless as a bubble. Oh, maybe I'll do the next one. Oh, it's all right, I've got all day to do it. Or maybe I'll go for a coffee. Maybe I'll go to the toilet. You don't get enough done. All right. So it's a case of go hard and then go home. It's like going to the gym. You wouldn't spend 5 hours in the gym. You'd have a far more conducive session if you were there for 45 minutes, no distractions, unplugged from everything, and really made those reps count. So 3 hours a week is all you need if you want to actually integrate day game into your busy life. 3 hours a week, 1 hour Friday, 1 hour Saturday, 1 hour Sunday, boom, done. If you can aim to have 5 conversations in 1 hour, you're in a good place. Okay, so that would be 15 a week. That's, in my opinion, that's what gets the best results. Look, if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. But this is more for your future projection. If you can aim to have between 10 and 15 quality conversations per week with girls who you actually like, doesn't just need to be street approaching, right? Like, Far too many guys, again, have been brainwashed into thinking that all day game is approaching girls on the street. It's not day game, it's not night game, it's life game. Wherever you meet them, you might be at the fucking gym, you might be at Costa Coffee, you might see the beautiful barista behind the bar. You might, yeah, let's have a conversation with her. That counts as a conversation too. Fucking right, it does. You might be at your improv class. You might be at your MMA gym. You might be performing an open mic night, and there might be some beautiful girls in the bar, and they've seen you on stage, and now you've got higher relative value. Now you can go leverage that relative value. Oh, what did you think of me on stage? There you go. There's an easy open. Boom, you're in. This is what I'm trying to get across to you. Like, there's a far too skewed, narrow-minded view of what day game actually means. Day game is conversation skills. Day game is delivering value that you've built to the world, just outside of a fucking bar or a nightclub. But guess what, boys? If you like bars, if you like nightclubs, then go fucking for it. Like, it's just like finding fulfillment across so many avenues. Like, use the streets as your dojo, as your training ground when you're ready, all right? And if you're not sure, right, here's something that I would suggest that you do. If you're not sure if you are ready, then feel free to send some, sounds weird, but I think it's actually valuable. Feel free to send some photos of yourself to me and just include like a little paragraph about yourself. So who you are, what you do, how old you are, like rate your social skills from 1 to 10. Like if you want to do that, I'm gonna fucking try and sell you anything. I don't care. I want, like, the whole point is, if you want to, you can send me some photos. You can email them to me, ukdaygame@gmail.com. If you don't want me to have your email, you can message me on Instagram, whatever, however you want to get it across. Leave a comment on this video and send a link somewhere. I don't fucking know. But if you can just like give me some pictures of yourself and rate your social skills from 1 to 10, I can then say to you, let's say you're called Clive. Right, Clive, I would say from the evidence that you've provided that yes, you should be going out and doing this. You have built yourself up. You do seem to have good social skills. You seem like a cool guy. Yeah, got there. If all that's stopping you at the moment is approach anxiety, then we'll reconnect. If all that's stopping you at the moment is the approach anxiety side of it, then great. But yeah, if you want to send some photos to me, send a little description over about yourself, then we can do that. I think my phone needs charging. Bear with. Excuse, there's some weird fucking shit on the bed sheets. Hopefully you can't see it. I'm not going to provide any details on that. Wait, 1 sec. Are we on? Are you charging, you little fucker? Hopefully you are. Right, what's the next one? You've done that one, said that pickup artists are losers, you lack purpose. Yeah, that's a good one, really. Like, beautiful women are a beautiful byproduct of a beautiful life. So you need a clear path or a clear mission in your life, right? So something that you are more invested in than women, all right? Because when you do have a higher purpose or a higher vision, whether that might be your 9 to 5, maybe you're a banker and you really fucking love your job, or maybe you've got some extracurricular activity, like maybe your passion is music or line dancing or creating online content like mine is. You need that to keep you leveled, yeah? You need that shit in your life to keep you leveled. And that's what I was saying before. It's a lot easier to deal with the blowouts if you've got things to look forward to, right? So I could go out and get blown out by 10 gobsmackingly gorgeous girls, but do you know what? I've got a live stream tonight. Oh, I've got that video that I can edit. Oh, I've got a call with my client later. Oh, I'm going to go out with my mum for fucking coffee, or I'm going to go see my friend this weekend. I'm organising this meetup, or I'm going to Bucharest. I'm travelling. I'm going to fucking Brazil. Whatever, like, life becomes a lot easier when you have clear focus, all right? Like, it's kind of become a bit cringe in today's world, hasn't it? Where it's like, oh, you know, bro, find your purpose, find your hashtag meaning. But there is truth in it. But I think purpose can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Maybe you've got a dog that you absolutely adore, and your highlight of the day is taking little Tootsie out for her evening walk and talking to a few people as you patrol the promenade. Maybe that's what you live for. Maybe it's your morning coffee. Maybe it's just spending time with people who you love. Maybe that's what your purpose is. Maybe your purpose is to just be grateful for the things that you do have. Maybe you're a 50-year-old guy listening to this and you feel satiated with life. You've done so many things in your life, and now the thing that you look forward to the most is listening to one of my live streams. Whatever it is, whatever you find joy in, do more of it, right? Find what works and then keep doing it. And that this is what this is how I can tell if someone is going to become an absolute killer in the sexual marketplace or they're just going to crash and burn. It's what their life looks like holistically. If all you've got going on in your life is day game, is pickup, if you consider yourself a PUA, you shouldn't be watching this live stream anyway. I've already told you to fuck off because you're a loser. Like, you need other things in your life. Like, beautiful women are a beautiful byproduct of a beautiful life. This is what makes you seductively compelling, all right? Women, they want to be, what is it Zamperion says? They want to be invited into an adventure. They don't want to be the adventure. And also, just from a pure seduction viewpoint, when you're out on a date with a girl, you've actually got things to talk about, okay? If you've got 7 or 8 different things that you're passionate about, those are your conversation material. Guys often say to me, oh, Kristian, I was on a date with a girl. I kept running out of things to say. Yeah, it's because you don't have anything going on in your fucking life. Like, you shouldn't be going on dates with girls if you don't have things that you can speak about, that you're going on adventures, that you've got battle scars, you've got war stories. Like I hope that this comes across. You need to accumulate life experience. This is what feeds into you becoming the most fuckable version of yourself. It's not just the way you look. Yes, that fucking matters. We've established that. It's not just one thing, yeah? It's about becoming, when I say become the most fuckable version of yourself, it means being the whole package, getting your finances on point, like skyrocketing your social skills, looking as good as you can look, dressing well, smelling good, having a compelling life that people actually want to be a part of. It's much easier to invite girls into things you're already doing rather than inviting them on dates which are dependent on their inclusion. Like, oh, Stacey, we should go out for drinks, just me and you. Or, yo, Stacey, me and my friends are gonna go to this jazz bar this coming Saturday. You should come, bring your friends as well. Then boom, you're then creating this social circus, this social safari where everyone can get involved. Now it's like she's being invited into an adventure. She's not the adventure. And this only comes about because you put the reps in to create this compelling lifestyle. Like I say, it might take you 5 years to get there. I've been on this grind since I was 13, right? So it's like, but no one wants to wait, right? No one wants to wait. And that's why charlatans will take your money, because they know that guys are desperate. They can't be asked with delayed gratification, and they just want it now. But the crazy thing is, you won't get it now. You'll end up paying some charlatan some money to try and fix your life as a whole. That guy can't fucking do it. He's barely fixed his own life. And it's like, no, that's not it, right? That's why I say, if you're like a 22-year-old guy watching this live stream right now, like, you might not work with me until you're 30 years old, and I'm happy to fucking wait if you are, because we'd have a better time together. And that's what I think that's what the fucking charlatans don't get either. I don't see what you're getting if you're deciding to work with a guy who you know is 3 years away from where he needs to be. How are these coaching sessions happening? Like, just walking around, and the guy, the charlatan obviously knows he's not going to get any results. He's just waiting for the clock to finish so he can get his money. It's like, it's just a crazy, disgusting world, especially in this fucking industry. But yeah, have a purpose, have a mission, making sure that you're actually doing things that you enjoy. And then the women's side of things is a lot easier. And that's not me saying, because this is where a lot of red pill commentators will fall down as well. Made the point in a previous live stream, but reiteration is consolidation. The whole ignore women for years mindset is flawed. Like, you need to have experience with the feminine, even if that means you, as let's say you're a 24-year-old guy right now, even if that means going after less attractive women right now just to get points on the board, just to have experience with the feminine. Because if you're a 23, 24-year-old guy, you're just not going to be, unless you are an outlier, you're just not going to be pulling the quality of girls that you will be pulling when you get into your late 20s, early 30s, because your relative value is just not going to be as high. And women typically go for guys who, 4 to 7 years older than they are. So, like, as a young guy, you've basically got a free pass to go and experiment without ego, speak without shame, go after girls who you think, yeah, I could get her easy, or she's not as good as the girls that I wank myself off to on fucking Pornhub. It's like, yeah, too fucking right. You've not done anything yet. You're not a valuable prospect. So just eat shit for a little while. It's better than just being lonely for your 20s. Like, there's some amazing girls as well that you can meet out there. Like, if you go places like go on like a solo trip to Thailand and just immerse yourself in that country for like 3 to 4 weeks. Just bounce between like hostels and just meet girls from all different walks of life. And you know, as soon as you get talking to a girl, and even if she's not like absolute like fucking worldy level, like her personality can be compelling enough to make you think, you know what, this girl's cool. We can have a lot of fun together. This could be a fun 3 day relationship. Like, you know, drop your ego a little bit. Like if you're a 22-year-old guy, you don't have any fucking value. You've not done anything yet. So just eat shit for a little while and you'll be fine. But yeah, the whole ignore women for years, I don't think is healthy, nor is it conducive. You do need to have experience with the feminine. Like every young man, in my opinion, needs to have his heart broken. And it's good for you, right? You need, like, some of the best inspirations in my life have been women, right? And even for me, like I'm very much in the becoming, not the being. Yeah, I'm not sat here from my ivory tower being like, oh, I've worked it all out, now I can just settle and relax. It's like, no, I'm documenting the process of me, you know, like when I'll still be doing this when I'm like, say, 30 years old, and then we can look back at this like case study that I've created since I was like 23, and like I'll probably look back at like how I am now and be like, what the fuck was this all about? Like like what even was this? Like what was that stupid fucking facial hair that he's got going? But like, point being is like, that future projection mindset stops you getting bogged down in the details of the now. I think that's important to remember. I think that's another reason why I find it easy to deal with like hate or slander or someone being like, your hair's weird. It's like, I don't care. Like I'm too far gone to give a flying fuck what some randomer on the internet or some girl I've spoken with for like 2 minutes actually thinks. 'Cause it's like, yeah, in 4 years I'm gonna be different anyway, and I'm gonna get over it one day. I might as well get over it now. So yeah, like I think I don't want to be like one of those people who's like, oh, just be confident, bro, because it doesn't really cut it. But I do think having a sense of bulletproof bravado, that's why doing Daygame and YouTube simultaneously made a man out of me. You know, I'm creating content online. You've got the trolls out there who don't care about you, who just say whatever they think because they're just hiding behind an anonymous profile. And obviously doing Daygame, because I built my value up to a decent level. Like, that's what I'm saying, to a decent level. If you look at me, like when I first started this, like 2 years ago, like I wasn't anything decent. Do you know what I mean? I looked like meh. But social skills are on point, and I looked good enough to actually get myself into those conversations. A lot of guys who are trying to do this, they're just not passing that initial threshold. They're overweight, or they've got a beer belly. They're not looking after themselves. They've got bad habits. They've got yellow teeth because they're smoking too much. They're addicted to booze, playing fucking World of Warcraft, League of Legends all day. And it's no fucking wonder why girls don't want anything to do with you. Like, wake up, right? And it's like, woe is me. Like, oh, the black pill. It's like, it's not the black pill's fault you're a loser. It's your fault. So just apply the lessons that we've provided in this video. Like, this is not like the entire playbook. This is just one man expostulating his thoughts with the hope that you don't get scammed and you actually take the time to build your value first, and then you deliver it to the world when you've got your value to a good level. So I'm just going to finish off by just putting out some healthy habits any guy can start doing right now over these next 2 weeks to look the best that he can look within a 2 week time period. So train at the gym 4 times a week. That should be a given for any man. If you're not training at the gym, then there's no excuse for not doing that, right? Like, I was training at the gym when I was working the 9 to 5. I used to work like 14 days in a row at the fucking caravan park. I was still finding time to actually train, and like that should just be a prerequisite, in my opinion, for any modern man. It's just a self-respect thing as well, you know. It's like, if you can't be asked to spend like 45 minutes 3 to 4 times per week putting yourself through it, then fuck you. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why can't you do that? You can spend 2 hours binge watching a series. Oh, but I'm tired. Drink a fucking Red Bull and shut up. What else can you do? Working on your social skills, we've established that. Even if that means signing up to 1 to 2 new social activities this week. So going to meetup.com, finding local events that are happening, or just signing up to something that you wouldn't usually do. So I've already listed loads of shit. Salsa, bachata, improv, comedy, fucking martial art class. That's a great thing as well. You can mix fitness and social together. I was doing boxing when I was living in Leeds, and that was great. You can just like have you can spar, and you can like go out fucking coffees and shit together, so that's nice. Yeah, train at the gym 4 times a week. Find some social activities you can immerse yourself in. curate your online content so you're constantly getting hits of inspiration rather than demotivation. So create a new Instagram profile, find 5 people who you really resonate with, follow those people, shut out the noise externally. Another thing that you can do as well, which I do highly recommend that you do, and this sounds like woo-woo as fuck, but I do it, I like it, is self-adoration affirmations. Find 5 sentences that make you feel good as a man and say them to yourself every single day, right? Because when I first wake up in the morning, I get bombarded with the avalanche of anxiety. I get that perceived lack of self-worth. I get my monkey brain being like, you're not good enough, whatever. You need to actually override the default and reprogram your brain into actually believing good things about yourself. It's like Peter Crone says, who would I be in the absence of my concerns? In other words, what would you do if you weren't scared? And just treat yourself as if you already are the most fuckable man on the planet. I think being delusionally confident is a great way to just get you through the door, right? I'm not saying be delusional for the rest of your life, but if you can just say to yourself, yeah, I'm an athlete. I'm a 10 out of 10. I look the best that anyone else has looked. Like, I make obnoxious money. Whatever it is, it just gets you into that habit of actually choosing optimism over pessimism, right? And I mean, what is truth anyway, right? So if you can just program yourself into believing good things about yourself, and even like just like doing good things on a daily basis, like if that's like like holding the door open for somebody, or like helping some old lady with a shopping, like ask them if they need help first, or maybe there's someone in the supermarket struggling to get the fucking baked beans. You're like, oh, would you like me to get those for you? And they'll probably be like, no, I'm my own, I'm an independent woman, leave me alone. But like, just be a good fucking human being. Do you know what I mean? It's like, just be the reason someone smiles, be the reason someone has a better day. Like, even if you do just want to get your foot in the door with the whole cold approach thing, like, just go out without a phone. Like, go out, don't need to worry about getting numbers, and just give people compliments. Like, that's an easy thing that anyone can do. Like, even if you don't feel as though your value is on point right now, you don't need to be going into the conversations because you try to get laid. You can just be in those conversations because you want to create this transactional energy where you feel good, she feels good, and everyone feels good. So you can make that like an exercise that you do just to acclimatize yourself to the approach process without needing anything back in return. Just go out to give, right? And it makes you feel great. And then that'll be your best pre-workout ever. It's like, oh, I overcame my resistance to having a conversation. Find a few middle-aged ladies and just be like, you look amazing, you look fantastic, you look beautiful, have a good day, it was great speaking to you. Yeah, boom, then you're in. And that's your social skills as well. But yeah, don't be dependent on that one. Like, you can do that like a few times a week if you want to. Just go out for like 20 minutes and make a few people smile. But then just social activity, social stack, find fulfillment in many things. I've said train in the gym. If you can do high intensity interval training as well, so just 10 sets of hill sprints, that feels good. Cold water exposure to just make you feel like a king. Get good friends around you, get a good network of people that you can bounce off. Like, don't spend too much time on your own. If you are going to immerse yourself in the day game scene or just the game scene in general, find a solid masculine support network of like-minded guys who are actually looking after you, who can take you under their wing, preferably guys who've been in the game longer, who are older than you, who've got more skin in the game, who can keep you leveled. And then that'll just stop you. Like, if you've had like 10 blowouts, it's like it normalizes. Yeah, bro, happens to everybody, don't worry about it. If you've got guys you go out with at night and you see them getting blown out and they've been in the game longer, it gives you permission to suck. All right. And it's another thing I'll say, just give yourself permission to suck. If you're a 22-year-old guy, you're going to suck with girls for a long time, and that's fine. It's a rite of passage. Everyone sucks, and you'll suck less. And all of a sudden you'll suck so less that you'll actually be good at it. And that's a beautiful place to be. But yeah, just give yourself permission to not be the finished product. So many people are just like trying to plug into you that, oh, you need everything now. It's like, no, why? Like, why can't I wait 7 years until I get to where I want to be? Like, if I got to 34 years old and someone said to me, right, you have to wait until you're 34 years old and then you can have everything you've ever wanted, I'd bite his hand off. But too fucking right. I'll eat shit until I'm 34. If when I get to 34, I'm going to be living my dream life, fine. But no one's prepared to do that. Everyone just wants shit now. That's why people fail, because they're selling out for the quick bucks, the quick fix, quick fix culture that we live in is poisonous. Speed and patience, execute every day and be prepared. It might take 5 years. It'll probably take less for you, but just knowing that it's the process that you're actually addicted to. You'll get there and you'll want something else anyway. We're a fucking generation of always wanting more and more and more. That's a beautiful thing. But just don't allow yourself to get sucked into the the cycle of just thinking, once I've arrived, then I've arrived. Like, you never fucking arrived. Like, when I was making my podcast in that shitty apartment in Leeds like 2 years ago, I used to say on that podcast all the time, like, oh, people talk about making it. Bro, I've already made it. I'm making this podcast. I'm putting value out into the world. Like, this right now, this is for me. This is making it. And this is what I was saying before about when you're operating from a place of wholeness rather than from a place of lack. It's like, I'm not in need of anything right now. It's me creating this video, putting value out into the world. As soon as I finish this live stream, I'm just going to have a better day for it. I'm going to feel great. And everything that I touch is just going to be an absolute technicolor because I've created something of value. It feels beautiful to put my thoughts out there into the world, to create content like this, which is more provocative, which hopefully pisses people off, which are like, I don't like what you're saying. It's like, well, yeah, fuck off then. But yeah, the whole point of, in my opinion, the whole point of this world, that the thing that we live in, that we call life, is to feel good, right? To just do things every day that make us feel good and hopefully benefit the people in our tribe as well. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this one. It's been a bit of a rant, but hey, it's fine. Drop it a like if you want to. Can you dislike live streams? You probably fucking can. I'm sure someone's disliked it already. Wankers. I think, is my phone charging? I think it might be. I can't fucking... I think people put some comments in the chat actually, so I'll see what people are saying and then we'll say au revoir. But yeah, they both should be done at the same time. Approach but upgrade your life in conjunction, unless you look like a complete disaster. No, I disagree with that completely. Like, no, you shouldn't do both at the same time. If you look like shit and if your social skills are in absolute turmoil, build your value first, and then you'll have an easier time with the day game. So no, don't do both simultaneously. Build your value first, and then this will be a lot easier for you. That's where I am. I let loose for a few years after some trauma I went through. Now I've lost my gains, got fat, lost my social skills, got a self-improvement instead of complaining about hypergamy. Yeah, I mean, like, hypergamy is a thing. There's no point in fucking complaining about it. But you've already taken the first step. You've accepted what's gone wrong. You went through trauma, you've lost gains, you've got fat, and you've lost your social skills. The beautiful thing for you is all of those things can be regained again. Best advice I would give to you, pulsating hexgasm, is get the fuck offline. Get offline. Have a blackout week. Take yourself offline for 7 days. You already know what you need to do. If you're fat and your social skills are shit, go to the gym and find a new social activity that you can immerse yourself in. Something which is more on the easy side. I wouldn't be putting yourself into salsa or bachata if you don't feel as though you look good right now. I would actually say you'd be better off going to a walking group, because then you can actually lose some weight as well whilst you're walking up some fucking hills. So yeah, if you can say to yourself, right, this coming week, I'm going to train at the gym 4 times, I'm going to have a blackout week, stay off social media, or if you are going to be on social media, curate the Instagram profile like I was saying to you. You see, surrounded by people who are going to, rising tide lifts all the boats, and then find some walking groups that you can go to, just some very easy access things that will just get you into that habit of putting yourself into new environments with new people. So yeah, hopefully that helps you. But yeah, you already know the problem. You're probably spending too much time online. You're probably watching too much red pill, black pill fucking content. You've got fucking Rollo Tomasi telling you about how women are the enemy, and it's all hypergamous. The dual mating strategy is like, it's like, yeah, fuck off. Like, just get outside more. Focus on the things that you can control. There's no point in complaining about how nature is. It just is. Like, nothing's good or bad. Thinking makes it so. As here, hope you're doing well. Completely agree. 100% looks max as a baseline before starting the day game journey. Yes, as I appreciate you. Hopefully I'll catch you when I'm in London. And this is not me saying, look, just to put this out there, this is not me saying that you should use like looks maxing or the going from a chump to a Chad. This is not me saying you should use this as procrastination and just get stuck there, okay? Because you could go from, let's say, a 4 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10, and you could think to yourself, oh fuck, I've got a lot to lose now. I don't want to put myself in front of girls because what if they reject me after building my value up? So you can't just get stuck there. You have to accept that even your best won't be enough for some girls. But just because you don't get some doesn't mean you won't get any. And the more you level up your life across the board and put this into the equation, have a propensity for taking bold risks, i.e. accepting that even your best is not enough for some girls. You might just not be that girl's type. It is what it is. Sad face. Cue the cute violin music. However, the more reps you put in and the more rejections that you get, like I say, it's much easier to get rejected when you already like yourself, because you're just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever, I like myself. And getting positive reference experience with girls, that's why it can be good as a younger guy to just get reference experience with girls who you think, yeah, she's not really that good, but like, she'll do. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong to just get points on the board and going for girls that, in 5 years you wouldn't look twice at. But hey, why not do it now? Why not just get those points on the board? Most men are frustrated because they currently lack love from the feminine. So why not fill your life with beauty from the feminine? Just do what you need to do. I don't see any problem with that. But yeah, don't just get stuck looks maxing. There needs to be a point where you're like, yes, I've made it to a point where I like myself. You're still developing, of course you are, but there's nothing wrong then going out, fucking nights out, going out doing your street approach and however you want to do it. Look, this is not me bashing on street approaching. Like, the majority of my videos are me approaching girls on the street. Like, you're probably thinking, yeah, but like, that's basically like all your life is. Like, you just approach girls on the street. It's like, bro, those videos are the easiest to make. Okay, like when we're filming, it's a case of I meet up with Dan in London or at Manchester, and it's a case of, right, where are we going to find the most foot traffic? Outside on the streets. When guys come work with me, it's a holistic experience. We go on the streets, go to bars, we'll go to fucking art galleries, museums. I'll introduce them to my social network, and it's just this holistic experience. The street's the easiest places to film, and they're the best training ground because they'll give you the most volume. But yeah, there's certainly more to my fucking life than street approaching. Jesus Christ. If that's all my life came to, I think I'd just give up now. Appearance plus social skills equals success with women. There you go. That's a fucking formula right there. Too fucking right. Hey bro, I'm 18 from Houston. I love your conversation-oriented content. Good. I'm happy that you like it. You're 18. Don't get too sucked into this. Please do not, Nico. You're 18 years old right now. You've got all of your life ahead of you. Focus on building good habits. Train hard at the gym. Work on skyrocketing your social skills. Use my content for inspiration to show you that, yes, it is possible. It's more than possible to meet a girl on the street and you can get something going with her. It's more than possible. Just use that for inspiration. Don't start smoking. But enjoy your life, right? If you can, travel around, get experiences in new cultures, find a good group of friends that you can bounce off. You can start some martial arts where the camaraderie in a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym class, whatever you call it, or a boxing gym, the camaraderie there is beautiful. Some of the best people you'll ever meet are people who you meet at boxing gyms or martial arts classes. Don't get too sucked into the red pill space. Don't get too sucked into female hypergamy and reading The Rational Male and getting a depressive worldview of women. Like, it's good to educate yourself on these things, but I think at 18 years old, you should just be focused on putting yourself out there as much as possible, having a lot of battle scars, getting your heart broken ASAP, finding a nice girl, thinking she's the one, and it all capitulating in front of you. You've got a lot of development still to do, so don't get too sucked into one thing. Just try and level up your life across the board and appreciate that at 18 years old, your next 10 years are purely batting practice. So just experiment without ego, enjoy yourself. Don't get too sucked into the present moment. Like, enjoy yourself, spend time with your family and all that good stuff. But yeah, the older you get, as long as you don't get a girl pregnant, as long as you don't stop working on yourself, like, the next 10 years are going to be beautiful, and then they are going to be the perfect setup for your 30s and beyond. So yeah, hopefully that was useful for you. Batman, how is your flake rate for dates for approaching random girls on the street? I'm very funny, and I think I got good game. I make them laugh several times, but not too much to get taken seriously. I don't even take day game seriously to get dates. I just do it because it's inherently fun to me. But sometimes I don't even follow up back after the game. I've spoke so much about like why girls flake. I mean, you might think your game's good, but if girls aren't following up with you, then your game ain't good, bro. That's the reality of it. Look, you're always going to get flaky girls, of course you are, but that's why you shouldn't just be doing one thing, right? Like, then this is another good reason actually why I say stop approaching girls on the street. Most guys are using are trying to get their entire romantic income from street approaching. Street approaching just does have an inherently higher flake rate, especially when you first start off, or especially what I would recommend to you actually, if you think your game's good, record the audio of your conversations and listen back, because oftentimes we're unaware of our own blind spots. That was a big way that I stopped my flake rate being as high, but I've already made videos anyway, like how to improve or decrease your flake rate or whatever, but like listening to your conversations back is amazing because yeah, she might be laughing, but she might just be being polite. It's you want to get more of a reference point in terms of what's going well, because I'm sure things are going well for you, but also what's going shit. You might be speaking too fast. You might not be in those conversations long enough. You might not be creating a seductive enough vibe so she sees you as just a platonic option. The first 3 seconds you approach might be shit. The proximity, how close that you're standing next to her. Did you schedule an actual date on the spot? Like, did you say to her, right, listen, like next Saturday I'm going to be going to this bar with my friends. You should come with me. Like, there's a lot of things that go into girls flaking. So yeah, it'd be interesting for you to actually listen back to your conversations to see what's actually going wrong there. I find that discouraging. I think day games are a waste of time because I still have so much potential. I getting ghosted as well. Well, if you think it's a waste of time, bro, don't fucking do it. No one's forcing you to do it, bro. Find other guys doing day game, become friends with them 100%. I think in this day and age, guys need to know indicators of disinterest within the first 10 seconds. She's looking away uncomfortable, wish them a good day and move on. Thanks for the stream, always strong mindset. Kristian Live, finally made one. I'll be in contact soon, man. Decided to see a fashion consultant first, but we'll book in with you a weekend if that works. Hope you're good, mate. I'm always good, bro. I'm always good. Happy that you saw some fashion consultant and you're making the strides to actually holistically improve yourself. Yeah, but no, good. Yeah, just to finish on that one, the guys who say like day games are a waste of time, then don't fucking do it. Like, what do you want me to say? I've passed the point of caring to even defend this discipline. If you think it's a waste of time and you think there's more optimal ways of bringing women into your life, then do those instead. Like, no one's forcing you to go out on the street. And for me, that's a beautiful place to be. If you've got to the point where you think street approaching is not conducive to you, like, that's the whole point of this fucking stream, to say to you, there's more to this than approaching girls on the street. You use the streets as your training ground. You use the streets to learn. Like, seduction is basically sales. You use the streets to master the skill set, objection handling, frame control, conversation skills. Oh, I've run out of things to say. Breaking the fourth wall. Friends come in. Big groups of girls that you need to communicate with. It's socially unorthodox. How do you put the girl at ease? Direct, indirect, situational. Like, this is the whole point that people are just not understanding. The whole point of this is not to stay on the streets. Spend a month, when you've got your value on point, spend a month going around, doing what you see me do online. But the things that you see me do online, I ain't doing that every fucking day for 5 hours. This is a holistic life. I'm meeting girls at bars. I'm meeting girls through friends of friends, social activities. Like, the best thing that I ever did with my life was invest myself into this day game community, into this process, because it's the way that I view it, it's a rite of passage. It's a catalyst as well for the rest of your day, right? This is something that I've never heard anyone else talk about. If I know I'm going out to a bar at 7 p.m. on a Saturday, I will do 1 hour of street approaching to break the social ice with myself, to get a few numbers, to have interactions with the feminine, to get me in that hyper social mood, to put myself through it. So by the time I rock up to the bar at 7 p.m., I've already opened so many people. I'm already feeling socially on point, where everyone else is kind of creeping into the bar gingerly because all they've done all day is playing fucking League of Legends, or maybe they've been at work all day, whatever they've been doing. I'm rocking up to that bar. I'm socially in sync. I've got the social buzz around me. I've got an aura going. I've done something difficult that day. Maybe I've been to the gym as well. The day game was a catalyst for the gym workout. The gym is a catalyst for the evening. Like, this is why you need to be thinking about this more holistically, right? You can't just be viewing it as I'm going out to day game and this is my only stream of romantic income. It's a flawed view, and that's why people will fail miserably with this, because they're only using street approaching. That's the point of this live stream. Yes, build your value. Yes, skyrocket your social skills. Yes, find fulfillment in many things. But also understand that there are so many different streams of income that you can bring women into your life. Street approach is one of them. You don't have to just rely on it solely. It doesn't make any sense. You shouldn't just be relying on street approaching to bring girls into your life. If you're one of those guys who was like following maybe Torero's content from 10 years ago, and he was always like, the purist, day game, or do it every day, day game or nothing. the world's changed since that, bro, right? No one should be just parading around the pavements anymore to try and bring women into their lives. The streets are the training ground, the streets are the dojo. If you can make things happen with girls on the street, you can do it anywhere. Dating, day game is dating on hard mode, as my friend George says. It's 100% true. And this is not me discouraging day game. Day game is beautiful. You can meet some absolute fucking stunners, girls that you would never have had access to otherwise on the streets during the day. And having that ability to just pull the trigger because you put so many reps in, right? Having that ability to just see a girl walking past you and no one else around you has got the balls to do it, but because you have acclimatized yourself to the approach, you can carry a quality conversation on the street, you can call out the fact it's a little bit strange, you can tease, you can be playful, you can implement provocateering, like, and then you can close with conviction. Like, it's one of the most beautiful things. And I would say that the final thing that I'll leave you boys with is, if I am to have a son, he's getting taught all of this shit. Like, I'm going to naturalize a process for him so early on. Like, when he's at play school and he wants to go talk to, or he probably can't even talk at that point, when he wants to interact with that little girl who's just like playing with the building blocks, I'm just going to be pushing him into there, be like, don't be scared, it's just a girl, have a conversation with her if you can. He probably just has no fucking teeth, so he'll just have to like gum her. But yeah, like, I think that's the best testament that I can give to this process. I will 100% teach my boy or my boys how to interact with the feminine, and that's all that this should be seen as. It's your ability to interact with the feminine unapologetically, but also have the realism to realize that there are steps that you need to take in your life if you want to be hyper successful with the feminine. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I think there was some more comments. Day game is amazing. I met so many girls through day game in my life. I never would have met them anywhere else. There you go. True, but also he wants to believe it's a waste of time. The human mind finding a reason not to do something. We all do it. That's very true. My ex-wife, she was not using social media and didn't go places I went to. I met her in a grocery store. There you fucking go, boys. There you go. That's our guy Kevin. Thanks for posting that, Kevin. This guy met his wife in the grocery store. So all you boys are like, it doesn't work, you'll never meet a high quality woman. Like, fuck you. Kevin met his fucking wife. So there you go. What a beautiful way to leave that. That's a beautiful story. Thanks for sharing that. In the grocery store. My best nights out are once where I've day gamed early, have already warmed up. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm glad that we found some sort of common ground with people. I'm glad that people were throwing in disagreements as well. The whole point of this live stream was to create a provocative platform for people to share their views, and hopefully we can all disagree with each other and all just leave better, happier, wiser people for the fact that independent thought is still a thing. So yeah, boys, if you've been here since the start of this live stream, then I appreciate you. If you've been here since the start of the fucking inception of the channel, when I was making videos in Leeds with my camera guy and we were using a bin as a tripod, then I love you as well. Probably even more, actually, if you've been here since the start. But however long you've been watching for, I really do appreciate you. I hope that you have seen this piece of content for what it is. It was intended to be provocative, but also, more importantly, it was intended to provide you with realistic value and to stop you from falling down some very scary rabbit holes, especially with the amount of charlatans that are around in this space. You do need to use common sense, okay? You have to always be asking yourself, why should I trust you? Why should I listen to you? You have to do it with me as well, all right? You have to just be asking, you have to have a bullshit detector for everyone these days. Like, yeah, but this person, what's his intentions? Should I listen to this person? Is what he's saying bullshit? Does it actually benefit my life, or is he just trying to sell me something? You have to always be asking yourself that shit, because most people are just out to fucking scam you. That's just the reality of the world. But hopefully this makes you more of an independent thinker, and you're able to actually preserve your own integrity and make decisions which actually benefit you holistically. And that's the purpose of this type of shit. So yeah, there's one more thing I was going to say. I can't fucking remember. I'll finish off the last comments. Thank you for your opinion. You're fucking welcome. For street approaches, get a number instead of IG, schedule a date in person, or try to pull her right there. Try to pull her right there. Yeah, because that works. Because that works so often, right? Oh, like the whole like SDL. I mean, I know that's not good advice. Don't just try and pull her then. And also going for the Instagram as opposed to the number, in my experience, is better, because if you've built your Instagram profile where it's a portfolio which demonstrates your life, your hobbies, your activities, you come across as a guy who lives a life that this girl wants to be a part of, you're far better going for the Instagram than you are for the number. Especially today, most guys, if they're taking the phone number on WhatsApp, they've got anonymous profile photos, which is complete horse shit. Like, if you're going to take a girl's phone number, at least have a compelling WhatsApp photo. But no, if you are going to be exchanging details and setting a date up with a girl, I mean, look, it's just my opinion, but you really just don't want to be that thirsty guy. Be like, yo, let's go get coffee now. Let's go back to mine. Like, I mean, come on, bro. But yeah, going for the Instagram is fine. Like, if you have built a compelling Instagram, go for the Instagram over the number. Like, I close most often now with Instagram because I've actually built my Instagram into something worthwhile. So, and don't be one of those guys who's like, my Instagram sucks balls. Well, do something about it then. It's actually great accountability if your Instagram sucks balls at the moment, to use that as motivation to improve your life, because then you're going to be documenting it and it's feeding into your seductive self, your seductive lifestyle. So yeah, there's no reason why you can't pay a photographer as well to get quality photos, and all of a sudden you're already ahead of 90% of guys who are not doing anything with their Instagram profile. So yeah, I think the question was posted to Batman or whoever the fuck you are. Yeah, get your Instagram on point, close with your Instagram. You'll have a better time. And also, I've made a video anyway. It's called How to Make Her Obsessed With You. It tells you how to actually create a compelling Instagram. YouTube shadow banned it because it didn't like the thumbnail, whatever. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the live stream, I always go for Instagram. It's much more fun. You get to know her in a different light by analyzing profile. Got a few pictures with women on there, which makes me 100%, bro. You've done it. There you go. You can use Instagram to vet her as well. And if you've got photos of you on there with women and you're plugging the pre-selection, your portfolio is a pre-selection Pimpstagram, then great, just do that. Leverage your Instagram more. But also always be upgrading it as well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you might have a couple of photos on there, but as you know, they might be archaic, they might be a long time ago, they might not present you in the best light. I would say, if you can afford it, just get some professional photos taken. You can use those for your online profile as well. Like, there's nothing wrong with using online dating as passive income. There's nothing wrong with that. It can give you a good sense of abundance as well. Like, if you've already matched like 10 girls on fucking Tinder or Bumble, and then you go out to DAYGAME, it can already give you that sense of abundance. You're operating from a place of wholeness rather than a place of lack. You feel more valid. You feel as though your attraction has been authenticated. Now you feel good about yourself. You've got quality photos. You've got girls blowing up your phone, wanting to go on dates with you. You're using the online dating more as a tool, which feeds in. It's another stream of romantic income, like I was saying before. I'll upgrade my shirtless mirror selfies. Yes, bro. Upgrade your shirtless mirror selfies. Maybe you can get a professional photographer to like take you taking a photo of yourself, and you can create essentially a parody Instagram. I think those are the best profile. Like, just parody Instagrams where you just like take stupid photos, but like if you've got a good body and you can pull it off, they're really funny. It's just like you taking the piss out of, like, you know, traditionally commonly held like pictures or whatever. But it's funny, especially if you've got like funny captions, like funny like one-liner captions. But anyway, that's a different story. We're talking about Instagram too much now. But yeah, if you get professional photos, you can leverage in life game. That's what it is. Daytime, nighttime, bar time, online time, fucking sexy time, whatever you want to fucking call it. Just do it all, right? Do it all, experiment with everything, and just fucking, you know, enjoy yourself out there. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end of this live stream, drop it a big fat fucking like to tell me that you want more of these these streams coming at you. So yeah, if you've watched the whole thing, I appreciate you. You can also find my exclusive content on Rumble as well. I think that's a swear word on YouTube. Probably get banned for saying that, but yeah, you can find exclusive content right now on Rumble. So if you're not on Rumble, make a profile. It takes like 2 fucking minutes. Rumble will be the future of online content. If I ever disappear from YouTube, you'll be able to find me on Rumble. So there's lots of exclusive content getting posted onto there. Footage that you won't see on YouTube. We've got an exclusive infield of me asking 2 girls on scooters for a threesome that used to be on YouTube. It's not on YouTube anymore. You can now watch it exclusively on Rumble. Rumble link, just type in Kristian Kasanova on Rumble. If I post a link, YouTube doesn't like it and my content gets shadow banned. Just if you go over to Rumble, just type in DAYGAME. I've basically monopolized I've monopolized DAYGAME on Rumble. So you'll find my videos. Kristian Kasanova on Rumble, or just type in DAYGAME on Rumble. You'll be able to see the exclusive I asked two girls for a threesome infield, which is probably one of the best infields. Not available on YouTube anymore. It's a Rumble exclusive. So go over, follow me on Rumble. If I disappear from YouTube, you'll find me on Rumble. We are now playing the drinking game where you have to take shots of Sambuca every time I say Rumble. So go over to Rumble, subscribe to me on Rumble, watch the content on Rumble. It's all free for you, for fucking ever. Nice one, boys. Love you. See you on the next stream. Whenever